We are game. I hope that this video finds you all still healthy and not going too crazy because of the quarantine, and that your friends or family are doing the same. So I'm going to recap really quickly. We first learned about food versus fuel. And it's interesting, I was talking to one of my clients a couple of days ago, and he really didn't understand the concept. Well, it just so happens that he's a collector of vintage cars, and one of the cars that he has is a Ferrari race car. So I asked him, I said, when you want to take your Ferrari out and do a few laps around the track, do you run down the street to the local Arco and fill the tank with 87 octane gas? You could, because a lot of people do, but this is a race car. You want it to perform at its best. So you're going to put into that car specific racing fuel to make sure that it can perform the way you want it to perform when you get it to the track. This helped him understand what I was talking about a little bit better, and that's kind of the concept that I want you all to grasp, because as high school and college athletes, I look at you as well-tuned, high-performance machines, and you need to fuel your bodies with that in mind, okay? We talked about metabolism. Your metabolism is that energy within your body that helps to regulate your physical activity and the fuel that you put in your system for its absorption, for its elimination, and it helps to determine energy expenditure, fat storage, etc. We went over the formula to calculate your basal metabolic rate. Your basal metabolic rate is your basic caloric intake necessary to keep you alive for the day. If you don't do any other activity, that is what's important, because it's based upon your basal metabolic rate that we determine how many extra calories you need for a day for you to perform at your best and to improve in whatever activity you're competing in. We also went through the different foods as the proteins, the carbohydrates, and the fats, talked about the different caloric yield per gram of each one of them to determine how important it is when we're talking about your nutritional intake to have the proper percentage of each one of those per meal. We actually went from there and talked about water, the all-important hydration situation that you all have when you are training and when you're performing. Talked about how much water is necessary, talked about when you should drink the water for best results, and I also talked about, since we're going to be losing electrolytes, our sodium, chlorine, potassium, and calcium, talked about maybe utilizing some of the other electrolyte replacing products on the market to assist with the water to make sure that we don't have a muscular imbalance and suffer cramping, etc. We really don't want to get so dehydrated that we have heat stroke, because that could be fatal. And I also talked about ways that you can tell during the day whether you are properly hydrated or not. So feel free to go back if there's anything that you have forgotten or anything that I've just mentioned here that is not familiar. Go back and look at those previous videos, and that can bring you up to speed. Today, I want to concentrate on one of those food nutrients, which is protein. Protein to me is the most important thing that you will ingest on a daily basis, because it is that protein, whether you are an endurance athlete, a speed athlete, or a strength athlete, which will help you to achieve your best physicality and therefore perform at your best in whatever activity you're taking on as your sport. Protein has the basic function of repairing and replacing damaged tissue. So this is especially important as you train, because as you train, you are tearing down your muscle cells so that it can be rebuilt. So the protein gets in there. When we ingest protein, it's broken down into amino acids, and in a later video I will get more into the anatomy of proteins and talk to you about the amino acids. But the amino acids are linked together in chains to create your protein molecules, and upon digestion of foods, they're broken down into the amino acids, which go to the different areas of the body, the different cells, and work to repair and replace the tissue that has been damaged and needs to be repaired, in your case, through your workouts and through your training. So that's why it's very important to get good, high quality protein into your system. So I'm going to talk about the way many of you eat, and I'm going to show you a meal that is probably very familiar to most of you. That is a Big Mac meal, okay? Good old McDonald's Big Mac meal. And so let's start with this. This Big Mac is 540 calories. Of those 540 calories, only 104 of them are from protein. It has 26 grams of protein. So 104 calories out of 540 is from protein, okay? Even though we're not talking about fat, I want to talk to you about the fat intake as well. There are 32 grams of fat in this Big Mac. That 32 grams of fat translates into, quick math, 288 calories of fat. More than twice as much as there is protein, okay? So for a highly skilled athlete like yourselves, you want more protein in your meal than you have fat, okay? So this Big Mac alone isn't going to provide you with that. But you might say, hey coach, I still have all these fries remaining, okay? Well, this is a medium serving of McDonald's fries. Does it have protein? Yes, it does. It has an additional 4 grams of protein, which gives you an additional 16 calories. So you put that 16 calories of protein with the original 104 calories of protein from the Big Mac, it gives you a total of 120 calories. 30 grams of protein, 120 calories. Now, these French fries are not without calories themselves. This pile of French fries is close to 400 calories of deep fried goodness. So when you put that with the 540 calories from the Big Mac, you have over 900 calories just on this one plate. 900 calories, of which only 120 calories is from protein. That's it, okay? Now, I don't totally agree with this, but just as a perspective, the FDA suggests that the average individual, the average adult, has only 2,000 calories a day to have a healthy diet. What we're looking at is almost half of that in just this. Now you guys know, because you've had this meal before, you can scarf this down in no time, and a few hours later, you are hungry once again. Okay? So, clearly, this isn't the most nutritious for the amount of protein fuel that you need in a day, and it's most of your calories in this one meal. So I'm going to show you a little bit of an alternative. Oh, yes, and let me not forget, it comes with a drink. So what do most of you guys get? You get Coke, you get Sprite, you get Pepsi, you get whatever the, fizzy drink is, and that drink has no protein. It's got a lot of carbohydrate, a lot of high fructose corn syrup, and things like that, which also does not contribute to the amount of high-level clean protein that you guys should be taking into your systems to help you with your activity, with your performance, and your training. So, just as a comparison, let me show you this. This here is 12 ounces of chicken breast. 12 ounces of chicken breast is approximately the same in caloric value as the Big Mac. However, the difference is these 12 ounces of chicken breast have 84 grams of protein. 84 grams of protein with all of this, which is the same caloric value as the Big Mac, but it has 84 grams of protein. 3 times the amount of protein. And that translates into 336 calories. So this is 540 calories, just like the Big Mac is 540 calories, but this has over 300 of those calories in protein. So which do you think is a better meal choice for you, a young athlete looking to fuel their system with muscle building protein? Now, even though we're not talking about fat, I'm going to give you a little bit of a comparison between the fat content. Remember I said the Big Mac had 32 grams of fat. 12 ounces of chicken breast has 6. 6. That's 22, sorry, no, I did go to school. That's 24 calories from fat in all of this chicken. And that one Big Mac had 5 times as much, okay? So, lean chicken breast, 84 grams of fat. Big Mac meal, 30, oh man, let me go back. Chicken, 84 grams of protein. As I told you at the beginning, if I mess up, I'm not going to stop the video because I may have messed up, face to face with you guys, and I'm human. So, 84 grams of protein, okay, not fat, protein. The Big Mac meal, 30 grams of protein, including the fries, 30 grams of protein, and a lot more fat. Do the math. Do the math. This is where you guys should be. This is where you guys should be. Okay? All right. Well, with that, I'm going to sign off for this particular edition. And I hope that you guys have absorbed the information that I'm trying to convey, that we can start with this video here in you making good choices, better choices, and realizing that as athletes, you can't always eat like your friends who are not at that same athletic level as you. You need to eat differently because you need to fuel your system to get the most out of your performance and your training that you possibly can. Okay, so guys, have a good day. Stay safe, stay positive, and I will be in touch later. Take care.